Welcome back, fight fans, to another episode of GTS Combat. And yo, the UFC is returning on January 16th with Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, and it's on UFC on ABC. And Max Holloway is coming into this one 21 wins, 6 losses, 10 of them coming via TKO or KO stoppage, and 2 and 1 coming via submission. Whilst Calvin Kattar 22 wins, 4 losses, and 11 of those coming via TKO or KO stoppage, and 2 and 1 also coming via submission. So very similar in records, and I'll put some more in-depth stats for you guys on screen now also. But let's get into them records. Max Holloway is coming off back-to-back losses from Alexander Volkanovski, and the last one is quite controversial. A lot of people believe in Max won that fight, including myself. I actually had a bet on that fight, and I was backing Volkanovski. I had an accumulator bet, and I had every fight correct going into it, and I believed going into it Volkanovski was going to pretty much do the same, but Max made a lot of good adjustments, and he looked like he was taking control from early in that fight, and I believed so. So going into that third round and midway through the third round, I started looking at my bet, and it gave me the cash out option for about £2.50 less than I bet for. So I was thinking, I don't really want to take a loss. I put about £17.50 on it, and that's quite a lot of money for me to place on a bet. I don't usually put that much on an accumulator, I have to be honest, people. So yeah, in the fourth round I decided to cash out, and I was wrong. I believed Max won that fight. I was screwing because I also had Kamaru Usman in the main event, and I was sitting there seething watching that main event, believing I could have had that money, but I cashed out, and the judges gave it to Volkanovski, and that's what matters. So he's got back-to-back losses to Alexander Volkanovski, and no one's really interested in the third fight, in the trilogy fight right now. So here he is fighting Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar, on the other hand, he is actually on a 2-fight winning streak. He's actually beat Jeremy Stephens and then Dan Ige since his loss to Zabit Magomed Sharipov. So, but he didn't think I was going to say that. But yeah, so Calvin's been looking good recently. Like I said, he hasn't been fighting the same level of opposition that Max has had. Max has defeated the likes of Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo twice. He's also defeated Jeremy Stephens, Anthony Pettis, Cub Swanson, also Charles Oliveira. Lots of names since his loss to Conor McGregor way back in his career, in the early stages of his career. Whilst Calvin Kattar has been making his way up, coming up, had a few decisions not go his way. Like I said, he lost to Zabit. He's also lost to Renato Moicano, but he has had good wins as well against the likes of Andre Fili and the mentioned Jeremy Stephens and Ricardo Lamas and Chris Fishgold. So he's had some good wins, but just not at that same level that Max Holloway's been fighting. So this is his chance to really put himself in that upper echelon of the division. If he gets a victory over Max Holloway, it can really put him up there in and around the mix, because he's a name that hasn't been with them top guys. While I said Max, no one's really interested in the rematch with him and Volkanovski right now, whilst if Calvin gets a win over Max, that really puts his name in the mix to potentially get a title shot. Maybe he might need one more fight to get that title shot, but at least he's up there and his name's being talked about in the same area as a title shot as these other guys. So it's a real motivating factor for Calvin, because he knows a loss here will probably really set him back, because people will start saying, well, he's probably not at that level to be with the top guys and mix it up with them. So it will be an interesting one. Stylistically, they match up very well as well. Neither guy look to take it to the ground very often. Both like to stand and box. Very clean boxing, both guys. I would say I would edge more to the sort of output, more of the high volume I would give to Max, whilst more of the, I would say, probably potential knockout power to Calvin Kattar. But they're both very clean, both very tidy boxing. Calvin likes to mix it up and go to the body. He's got a very good, clean body shot. Max Holloway likes to have a lot of pressure on his opponents. Calvin Kattar uses quite good footwork to get out of the way of his opponent's strikes, whilst Max Holloway uses his footwork, but really utilises that head movement as well to be able to get out of the way and give a strike back to his opponent as well. So it's going to be an interesting stand-up war, in my opinion. I'll be very surprised if we see much action on the ground. There might be the odd takedown thrown in to sort of mix it up and make their opponent think about the takedown. But I can't see much of the fight really playing out there. And the fact that it's a main event, a 5-round fight, I would probably give the edge to Max Holloway. Not saying that Calvin can't last the 5 rounds. We've seen him go the distance. I believe he's win with Jeremy Stevens. Well, that was actually booked for a main event, I believe, but that wasn't a 5-round main event. But his Dan Ige was a main event, I believe. Yep. But Shariapov was a 3-round fight, and that should have been a 5-round fight where it looked like Calvin was probably coming on more towards that 3rd round. So he looks like he has the gas tank to go 5 rounds. But Max Holloway is known for that that pressure across the whole fight, and he's been there. He's done it many a times. He had his fights with Jose Aldo, both fights with Jose Aldo, and his fight before that with Anthony Pettis were all 3-round finished in the 3rd round via TKO. They just couldn't keep up with the pressure that he set on them guys. So that's what Max is known for. For that reason, I can't write Max off. He's one of my favourite fighters in the UFC. I believe he's going to bounce back. I believe he's probably just got because of the high level of opposition he's been fighting, I believe he's got that experience to know how to get the job done. He's been here, he's done it. 5-round fights against numerous oppositions. So I believe it's going to be no different for Max. He's going to get the job done. I believe maybe a 3rd or 4th round TKO stoppage. I'm going to say a 4th round. That'll be my official prediction. But let me know your guys' prediction in the comment section below. We got plenty more content to come. There's some more already on the channel. If you haven't checked out my prediction with Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor rematch, make sure you go check that out. Also, I've been Jimmy. This has been GTS Combat. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till next time.